I need you to stop right now and hear me, because what happened around your life recently was not a coincidence, and it was not something you did, and it was not luck. And if you walk away from this video without understanding what actually took place, you are going to miss one of the most important moments of your entire spiritual journey. Something shifted overnight, not slowly, not gradually. Overnight, while you were sleeping, while you were exhausted, while you were lying in the dark, wondering if anything was ever going to change, something moved in the realm you cannot see. A decision was made at a level that operates above everything in this natural world. A covering was placed over your life with a fierceness that would make everything that has been coming against you turn and run. And the person behind that protection, the one who made that decision on your behalf, is not someone you can call on the phone or thank with words, but they are more real than anything standing in front of you right now. Stay with me until the very end, because by the time I finish speaking, you are going to understand why your life is about to look completely different from this point forward, and why nothing that was sent to destroy you is going to be able to touch you anymore. I am speaking to you, my chosen one, the one who went to sleep last night still carrying the same worries and woke up this morning feeling something different but not being able to name it. Something felt lighter, something felt less urgent. Something in the air around you felt different in a way that you could not explain to anyone, even if you tried. That was not your imagination. That was not wishful thinking. That was your spirit registering a real change that took place while your natural eyes were closed and your natural mind was resting. I work in the night. I work in the silence. I work in the moments when you have finally stopped trying to figure everything out on your own and surrendered to rest. That surrender is not weakness. It is the posture that allows me to move most freely on your behalf. When you stop gripping the situation with both hands and you simply sleep, trusting that I am still awake and still working, that is when I do some of my most powerful work in a person's life. And last night, I worked on yours. Type Amen if you woke up recently feeling like something had changed, even though nothing in your circumstances had visibly shifted yet. I want to tell you what was happening while you slept because you deserve to know. There were forces that had been positioned against your life for a season. Not just natural obstacles, not just the regular challenges that every human being faces. There were deliberate spiritual forces aligned against your forward movement, against your peace, against your purpose, against the specific plan I had laid out for your life. They had been applying pressure. Not all at once in a way that would be obvious, but gradually, persistently, in the way that water wears down stone, trying to exhaust your faith and erode your hope until you simply stopped expecting anything good. They almost succeeded, not because they were stronger than me, but because you were tired. And tired faith is still faith, but it is faith under enormous strain. I saw how close to the edge of your hope you were. I saw the conversations you had with yourself in the quiet, where you were honest about how weary you had become. I heard the prayers that were more like sighs than sentences. I felt the moments when you did not even have words left, and you just sat with me in silence, hoping I could hear what you could no longer articulate. I heard everything, including the silence. And last night, I decided enough. Type 777 if you feel God has been hearing even your silent prayers. When I say someone is fiercely protecting you now, I need you to understand what fierce means in the context of divine protection. It does not mean cautious. It does not mean passive. It does not mean a gentle watching from a distance. Fierce means active. Fierce means aggressive in your defense. Fierce means that anything moving toward you with the intention to harm you is being met with a force that it cannot withstand. Fierce means that the assignment against your life has been directly confronted and dismantled at the source. You have been protected before. My protection over your life is not new, but the level of that protection just increased. Something about this moment in your journey, something about where you are spiritually and what you are on the threshold of stepping into, required an escalation, a deployment of a covering that is not standard but specific, assigned to you, assigned to this season, assigned to make sure that what is coming for you arrives without being intercepted. Because what is coming for you is significant, and significant things require significant protection. Type 111 to declare that you receive the fierce protection God has assigned to your life. I want to speak to what changed overnight in very specific terms, because I do not want you to receive this as vague spiritual language that feels good in the moment but does not settle into anything concrete. Real things changed. Let me tell you what they were. The spiritual access that certain forces had to your life was revoked. There were open doors, some created by your own choices in the past, some created by the actions of others against you, some simply the result of unresolved wounds that functioned as entry points, and overnight those doors were closed, not reduced, not partially addressed, closed, sealed, covered with an authority that cannot be contested. The agreement that darkness had been operating under in your life, the legal ground, so to speak, that allowed it to apply pressure, that agreement was broken. Every word spoken against you that had been given spiritual weight, every intention aimed at you with malice, every generational pattern that had been cycling through your bloodline, trying to repeat itself in your story, all of it was addressed in that overnight shift. The authority behind what was covering you moved to invalidate what had been used against you. You woke up this morning lighter because you are actually lighter. The spiritual weight that had been pressing down on you has been lifted. And as the days unfold, you are going to see the evidence of that in the natural world around you. Type yes if you are ready to see the evidence begin to show up in your life. I also need to speak to the protector specifically because I want you to understand the nature of the one who is now fiercely covering you. This is not a casual protection. This is a covenantal protection, meaning it is not based on your performance or your perfection or your consistency or your worthiness as measured by any human standard. It is based on a commitment that was made over your life before you were born. A decision that was reached in eternity about your value and your purpose and your right to be protected from everything designed to prevent you from fulfilling what you were sent here to do. The protector who is fiercely covering you right now is the same one who knew you before your mother knew she was carrying you. The same one who placed gifts inside you that the world has not yet fully seen. The same one who has been quietly redirecting every attack that came at you before you were even spiritually aware enough to recognize it as an attack. The same one who held you in the moments when you had no one else. The same one who you have returned to again and again, even when you drifted, because something in you always knew where home was. That is who is covering you. And that one does not do anything halfway. Type Amen to honor the one who has been protecting you all along. The overnight change also brought something that I want you to prepare yourself to receive, and that is clarity. Not just protection from what was against you, but a clearing of the spiritual atmosphere around your mind and your spirit that is going to make things clearer to you than they have been in a very long time. The confusion you were living in, the inability to hear your own inner voice clearly, the sense that you could not quite find the right direction no matter how hard you sought it, that confusion was not entirely natural. Some of it was being manufactured. Spiritual interference in your thought life designed to keep you circling instead of moving forward. That interference has been removed. In the coming days, you are going to notice that your thinking is sharper. Decisions that felt impossible to make are going to begin to resolve with a clarity that surprises you. Direction that was hidden is going to begin to reveal itself. The fog is lifting. And what you see when it clears is going to take your breath away, because you are going to see how clearly I have been laying out a path for you that the interference was preventing you from seeing. Type 333 to receive the clarity that is coming as the fog lifts from your life. There is also a protection being placed over your relationships in this new season. There are people who have been in your life whose presence was either actively or passively working against your well-being. Some of them knew it. Some of them did not. Some of them loved you in the way they were capable of loving, but their own wounds and their own unhealed places were creating a drag on your forward movement. The protective shift that happened overnight is going to begin to sort your relationships with a precision that I need you to trust, even when it feels uncomfortable. Some people are going to begin to distance themselves from you without a dramatic confrontation. Others are going to reveal themselves in ways that make it clear why they cannot come with you into your next season. And new people are going to begin appearing whose energy is clean, whose intentions are genuine, and whose presence in your life will feel like water after a very long drought. Do not hold on to what is being removed. Let me sort it. The protection over your relationships is as real as the protection over every other dimension of your life. Trust that I know who belongs beside you and who was never meant to stay. Type 222 to trust God to sort your relationships in this new season of protection. Something else shifted overnight, and I need you to hear this because it is going to explain some things that are about to happen in your external world. The delay that had been placed on certain blessings in your life has been lifted. There were things I had prepared for you that were ready but were being held at the threshold by the spiritual interference that has now been dismantled. Those things are now moving. Some of them are very close. Closer than you would believe if I told you exactly how close. Provision that was blocked is now flowing. Doors that were stuck are now moving. Connections that were being delayed are now being activated. The timeline of your life just accelerated, and what might have taken another year of waiting under the previous conditions is now positioned to manifest in a fraction of that time. I am not slow. What felt slow in your life was not my pace. It was the resistance working against my pace. Now that the resistance has been dealt with, you are going to see what my pace actually looks like, and it is going to be faster than you were prepared for. Get ready. Things are about to move. Type 444 to declare that you are ready for the acceleration that God has released in your life. I want you to go into the rest of this day and the rest of this week with a different posture than you have been carrying. You have been bracing, waiting for the next thing to go wrong, watching for the next disappointment, holding yourself in a state of low-level readiness for more pain because that is what your experience has trained you to do. I understand why you developed that posture. It was a reasonable response to a prolonged season of difficulty. But that season is over, and the posture of bracing is no longer appropriate for where you are standing. You are standing under a fierce covering now. You are standing in a moment where the forces that were aligned against you have been confronted and defeated. You are standing on the threshold of a chapter that has been held in reserve specifically for you. Stop bracing. Start receiving. That shift in posture, from defense to openness, from waiting for the worst to expecting the best, is part of what allows what has been released to actually land in your life. I cannot fill closed hands. I cannot walk someone through an open door while they are still turned toward the closed one. Turn toward what is opening. Open your hands. Open your expectation. Open your heart to the reality that what is coming now is coming with a fierceness that matches the fierceness of the protection that has been placed over your life. You are covered. You are protected. You are about to step into the evidence of an overnight shift that changed everything. Stay with me for part 2, because what I am about to tell you is going to show you exactly what this fierce protection means for your future and the specific things that are already moving in your favor right now. Someone is fiercely protecting you now. I am back with you, and I need you to settle in because what I am about to share is the part that is going to shift how you see not just today, but every day that comes after this. You survived something. I need you to sit with that for a moment before we go any further. You survived something that was designed to end you, not just inconvenience you, not just slow you down, end you, end your hope, end your faith, end your forward movement. End the version of you that I have been building through every hard season you have walked through. The forces that were aligned against your life were not playing, they were serious. And they applied serious pressure, and you are still here. Not barely here, not here in fragments, not here with just the shell of who you used to be. Here, Present. Still in relationship with me. Still holding on to faith even when it felt like the thinnest thread. Still showing up for your life, even on the days when showing up required everything you had. That survival is not small. It is actually the thing that positioned you for the protection that was deployed on your behalf. Because I protect those who hold on, and you held on. Type Amen if you know that your survival in this season was not accidental. I want to now speak specifically about what the fierce protection means for each area of your life, because I want this to be practical, and I want you to be able to recognize the evidence of it as it begins to appear. In your finances, the fierce protection means that every scheme, every plan, every spiritual or natural force that was aligned to keep you financially depleted no longer has access to your resources. The leaking that was happening, money that went out in ways that never quite made sense, unexpected costs that always arrived at the worst possible moment, opportunities that fell through right before they materialized. That pattern was not entirely bad luck. It was interference. And that interference has been cut off at the root. What comes into your life financially from this point forward is not going to be subject to the same drain. You are going to find that money goes further than it used to. That provision comes from directions you did not plan for. That the ceiling on your finances that always seemed to stop you just before you got ahead has been removed. And that your ability to build, save, and grow is returning in a way that is going to feel almost startling after so long of spinning in place. Type 111 to receive fierce protection over your finances. In your health, the overnight protection means that your body is now covered in a new way. The prolonged stress of the season you just came through took a toll on your physical body. Stress is not just emotional, it is physiological. It lives in your muscles and your gut and your sleep and your immune system. Your body has been in a state of extended alert, and that state has costs. The protection that has been placed over your life includes your physical body. I am speaking restoration into your nervous system. I am speaking rest into your sleep. I am speaking strength into your body that has been depleted by carrying more than it was designed to carry alone. You are going to begin to feel better. Not just emotionally, but physically. The energy that stress was consuming is going to begin returning to you. The healing that your body has needed is being activated. Take care of the vessel. Rest when you can. Nourish yourself. And know that the one who is fiercely protecting you is covering every dimension of your being, including the physical. Type 777 to receive physical healing and restoration under God's fierce protection. In your mind and your emotional life, the protection means that the access that anxiety, depression, and spiritual oppression had to your thought life has been significantly restricted. I am not promising you that you will never face difficult emotions again. Emotions are part of being human, and they serve a purpose. But the kind of darkness that was moving through your mind in that prolonged way, the hopelessness that had no natural source, the despair that descended without warning, the intrusive thoughts that felt foreign to who you are, that level of spiritual influence on your thought life has been cut back. You are going to begin to notice that your mind is quieter, not empty, but quieter. The noise that was constant, the loop of worry and fear and dread, is going to begin to slow down. You are going to have moments of genuine peace that do not require effort to maintain. And in that peace, you are going to hear my voice more clearly than you have in a very long time. That clarity of mind is part of the overnight shift. It is part of the protection. A protected mind is one of the most powerful things a chosen one can possess. Type yes if you receive peace and clarity of mind as part of your fierce protection. I want to talk about your purpose now, because the protection over your purpose is perhaps the most significant part of what happened overnight. You have a specific assignment, a specific reason for being here at this specific time in history. And that assignment has been under sustained attack, not because darkness hates you personally, but because darkness understands the impact of your assignment and wants to prevent it. The attack was not random. It was targeted. Targeted at the exact gifts that carry the most power. targeted at the specific areas of your life that are most connected to your calling, targeted at the relationships and the resources and the mental clarity and the faith that you need to fully walk in what I placed you here to do. All of those targets are now covered. The fierce protection over your purpose means that the path forward is now clearer. The resources needed to walk in your calling are being aligned. The people who are meant to support, collaborate with, and amplify what I placed in you are being positioned to enter your life. And the resistance that made every step toward your purpose feel like an uphill battle has been significantly reduced. You are going to find it easier to move in the direction of your calling from this point forward. What required enormous effort before is going to begin to flow. What felt blocked is going to begin to open. The sense of being stuck in place while your purpose felt perpetually out of reach is ending. You are stepping into it now, in this season, with a covering that ensures you arrive. Type 333 to declare that your purpose is protected and you are stepping into it now. I also want to speak about the person or persons who were most actively involved in what was coming against you, because their situation needs to be addressed as part of your understanding of what changed overnight. The one who was most deliberately working against you, through spiritual means, through words spoken against you, through intentions directed at your harm, through alignments made with darkness on your behalf, that person is now dealing with the return of what they sent. I did not orchestrate this as revenge. It is simply the law of the Spirit, operating as it was designed to operate. But I want you to understand that their situation right now is a direct consequence of their choice to aim darkness at someone who was covered by me. When you target a chosen one who is under my protection, you are not just targeting that person. You are targeting my decision to cover them. And I do not take that lightly. Not because I am vindictive, but because I am just. And justice means that what is sown is reaped. Every time, without exception. You do not need to do anything about this person. You do not need to confront them, expose them, or celebrate their difficulty. What you need to do is release them completely and focus your energy entirely on what is ahead of you. Their story is between them and me. Your story is between you and me. And your story is going in a direction that is going to require all of your attention. Type 222 to release every person who worked against you into God's hands completely. I want to spend the final portion of this message speaking about what your life is going to look like as you walk forward under this fierce protection, because I want you to have a picture of it. Not a vague hope, but a real picture that you can hold in your mind and your spirit as you navigate the days ahead. You are going to wake up differently. Not every morning will be dramatic, but there will be a steadiness underneath your mornings that was missing before. A groundedness, a sense that you are held even before the day has shown you whether it is going to be kind or difficult. That groundedness is the felt sense of the protection that is now over your life. You are going to make decisions differently, with more confidence, with less second-guessing, with a clarity that comes from a mind that is less occupied by fear and more attuned to guidance. The decisions that are coming in this season are important ones, and the protection over your mind means you are going to be equipped to make them well. You are going to attract differently. The energy that surrounds you has shifted. What you put out now carries a different frequency, and what is drawn to that frequency is different from what was being drawn before. People of quality, of genuine intention, of aligned purpose are going to find their way to you. And the ones who carry darkness, whether they know it or not, are going to find that they are not comfortable around you in the way they used to be. Your covering repels what is not meant for you. Type 444 to declare that you are stepping into a new frequency of attraction and alignment. You are going to experience provision differently. Not just more, but cleaner. More direct, less complicated, less conditional. Provision that arrives without the drama and the near misses and the last-minute rescues that characterized the attacked season. Steady, reliable, increasing. The kind of provision that builds rather than just covers. You are going to experience relationships differently, with a discernment that protects you from investing deeply in people who will not stay. with an openness that allows genuine connection to grow without the hypervigilance that trauma creates, with a joy in human connection that the isolated, exhausted version of yourself had almost forgotten was possible. And you are going to experience yourself differently, as someone who is covered, as someone who is chosen, as someone who went through the fire and came out not just intact, but refined. As someone who has earned, not through perfection, but through perseverance, the right to walk forward with their head up and their heart open and their faith strong. That is who you are on the other side of the overnight shift that changed everything. The fierceness of your protection is matched only by the significance of your purpose, and both of them are very, very real. Type Amen if you receive every word spoken over your life today and declare that the overnight shift was real, the protection is real, and your future is covered. Walk forward, chosen one. Everything changed overnight. And what is coming now is coming for you, and nothing sent against you has the power to stop it. You are protected. You are covered. You are chosen. And the one who did that for you does not change their mind.